can learn your colors on my show. Oh, we be teaching days of the week. In moments you be speaking that Ivri. Story time coming, he my teach. We be teaching lessons on these beats. Yeah.
It's Sheba and show, learning Hebrews on the rise. You should join the zone and go on and subscribe. You should join the zone and go on and subscribe. You should join the zone and go on and subscribe. It's Sheba and show, learning Hebrews on the rise. You should join the zone and go on and subscribe. You should join the zone and go on and subscribe. You should join the zone and go on and subscribe.
Amazing, so awesome. You're doubtful, we lost some. Made a right turn on determination. Wrong turns don't work for destination. Gotta stay focused, eyes on the prize. Eyes a little bit, but eyes gonna rise. Self-rising flower, feels that power. Smart little girls have to study for an hour. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. I got a report card that could prove that. Get on entourage, telling Billy step back. Trying to give me an education, ain't no time for that.
Woke up early in the morning feeling, I don't know about you, but I'm really feeling. Mediocre, not accept the beat. Do you know what time it is? It's time to be. Man, it's time to be. Great.
Iron might get set go. Any little fear, gotta let go. Grades up, gotta keep the grades up. I'm trying to see how to be to keep the A's up. Teachers that care, that gotta be a plus. Go the extra mile, that gotta be us. If life's the lesson, then I wanna pass the test. Can't stay late night, I gotta get some rest. Marco, Polo, stay alerted. I don't wanna be a dodo, so if I gotta get it, then I gotta get it solo. Bring a pop quiz, get it slammed in a dojo.
Woke up early in the morning feeling, I don't know about you, but I'm really feeling. Mediocre, not accept the beat. Do you know what time it is? It's time to be. Man, it's time to be. Great. When alarm clocks go up in the morning, getting ready for the show off. Finish line getting tore off, like Usain Bolt, toothpaste go off. You mean to tell me it ain't never crossed your mind? I been thinking about being great all the time. Positive attitude, babes on the line. That drum line. I'm a drummer boy, pick the sticks up. Drum cadence make the whole nation lift up. Naysayers send them away on the G4. Barricaders, so we force them on a detour. I said a goal, it's a goal. I'm a failure, that's a no. I won't tell ya, I'm a pro. I'ma sell ya, cause I'm a show. Woke up early in the morning feeling, I don't know about you, but I'm really feeling. Mediocre, not accept the beat. Do you know what time it is? It's time to be. Man, it's time to be. By the way, you can take a photo. Nothing chicken batters will be soaking in a mojo. Sleeping on it, that's a guarantee. No, below average. Oh no. By the way, you can take a photo. Nothing chicken batters will be soaking in a mojo. Sleeping on it, that's a guarantee. No, below average. Oh no.
Hair wrap my skirt long, hair wrap my skirt long, hair wrap my skirt long.
Alright in my fringes.
Hair wrap my skirt long, hair wrap my skirt long, hair wrap my skirt long.
Swag out in my fringes.
Hallelujah for the dress code. Hallelujah for the dress code. Hallelujah for the dress code. Hallelujah for the dress code.
All white, blue, ribbon, red fringes. Miss fabric, that's all in it. Upright, in all cotton. Standing on the scene looking like a prophet. Woolly hair, man, we related. Heavens in the earth, man, my father made it. Holy days, man, I celebrate it. Got me dancing like I'm King David.
No robbery, I cannot be persuaded. A blessing coming, I wrapped my head before I prayed it. The truth set you free, I'm so glad I made it. The truth set you free, ain't you glad you made it? Look up in my closet, you gon' find a skirt. In my Bible daily, man, I'm on a search. Cleanse me, Father, find the dirt. Then my levant, time to work.
Hair wrap my skirt long, hair
the scene, feeling like a queen. Facial line, praying to the king. On a holy day, smelling frankincense. If you ain't talking about the kingdom, you ain't making sense.
If you ain't talking about the kingdom, what you talking about? Oh, right, with my friends, just man, I'm swagged out. Tefillah, prayer, each day. Yeah. You know I gotta hit the stage on a feast day. Yeah. Salute my brother. Shalom, praying for the brothers. That's on the block. Tribe of Judah, we gon' pop. Yeah, it's real, we on top.
Hair wrap my skirt long, hair wrap my skirt long, hair wrap my skirt long.
Alright, my Frenches.
Hair wrap my skirt long, hair wrap my skirt long, hair wrap my skirt long.
Swag out my Frenches.
Hallelujah for the dress code. 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 My daddy said if I'm getting right, I'ma get that Joe Jack. So when you see me on the mic, I'm only thinking about toe tagging. Sleep, let's sweep around my cat. So nobody got time for that. Eat free. Name another nation that could get lost and find it bad. My daddy ain't raised no fool. An individual that no cool. I need a whole lot of tell out the larim. Homeschool. Man, y'all, you know I found out no such things, no Santa Claus. Bring your canes round here. It ain't no flying reindeers. Jeremiah 10 made it clear. Projects don't even have chimneys. He ain't came around here. My daddy said if I'm getting right, I'ma get that Joe Jack. So when you see me on the mic, I'm only thinking about toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging. I'm only thinking about toe tagging.
You think your daddy bad? If you could count the saying, you'll figure out the children daddy had. Our nation moved them and put them on another land. My daddy known across the globe. You don't see his children by the blow. Man, go ahead and start the show. Man, look at you. You know that you keep on falling for that what to do. Practice made perfect, so I run it like an institute. While you be typing on your Facebook and your Instagram, I'm in the studio pumping music trying to get it, man.
If I get it right, I'ma get that Joe Jack. So when you see me on the mic, I'm only thinking about toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging. I'm only thinking about toe tagging. My daddy said if I'm getting right, I'ma get that Joe Jack. So when you see me on the mic, I'm only thinking about toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging, toe tagging. I'm only thinking about toe tagging. Daddy had. Look at you.
In the building, yes, we're back. Popular demand, and it's been said my people will sojourn in a foreign land. People's in the building, yes, we're back. Popular demand, and it's been said my people will sojourn in a foreign land.
Keep the Bible on me like the dealers keeping kilos. I be dripping by the keener, sleeping on my pillow. Fanatic of the king, man, he be on my hero. Why marvel at them comments? All of them be zeros. I learned to drop my ego, put my mind on my people. Mission Waco Jacob, man, they tryna snake us. It's that Jack Daniel truth. You gon' need a chaser if your heart can't handle it. Then you gon' need a pacer when you find it in the scriptures. Why these other nations hate ya? The world was created and your father is the maker. Cause of disobedience, gotta deal with these haters. You know what? Read Deuteronomy and they call me a little later.
Right, whatever you use words or deeds, whatever you think
yes, we're back. Popular demand, and it's been said my people will sojourn in a foreign land. People's in the building, yes, we're back. Popular demand, and it's been said my people will sojourn in a foreign land.
Hold up, wait a minute. Let me put a scripture in it. Deuteronomy 28, 68. My people fitted 400 years. We had to serve another nation. Pork eating, high blood pressure and medication. Work a whole year, get 2 weeks vacation. I mean, my whole nation is on heavy sedation. Sleep so long, curse prolong. Still keep Christmas, still don't think it's wrong. You get weaker while you make them strong. You could get your grandmama to sing this song. I bet she got a Joseph in the history class. If you take this for a joke, then I'm history fast.
Get 'em a left, just to get 'em a left.
So just to give an idea what's going on right here, this time of
People's in the building, yes, we're back. Popular demand, and it's been said my people will sojourn in a foreign land. People's in the building, yes, we're back. Popular demand, and it's been said my people will sojourn in a foreign land.
Saul was the previous king of Israel, Benjamite. He got deposed by the Mosai and superseded by David, a Judite. So, there was all because of that. You could say there's a political tension, even though people may know it's of the Mosai because of pride, ego and all that. There was a lingering, tension between Judah and Benjamin right there, and then that kept going. Plus, David was in his old age, and people on this power trip thought that he's old now, maybe he's getting weak. So maybe we could challenge him and see if we can rule in his stead. So read verse 1 again, huh?
Verse 1. And there happened to be there a man of Belial.
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 Belial, that's representative of man of Satan, a devil. Someone else, going contrary to Moses' commandments. Read.
Whose name was Sheba.
His name was Sheba. Read.
The son of Bichri, a Benjamite.
Yeah, Benjamite. So, okay, I'll read on.
And he blew a trumpet and said, we have no part in David, neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to his tent, so Israel.
Right. So this Benjamite was making a battle cry. He blew a trumpet and said, we have no part in the son of Jesse. We have neither lot nor part in the son of Jesse. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing for us right here. This Judahite, David, what we going to gain from being loyal to David? Every man to your tent. All your own position, go back to your household. We're not going to defend David. We're not going to back him. So that's what Sheba did, this Benjamite. Read on.
Verse 2. So every man of Israel went up from after David and followed Sheba the son of Bichri. But the men of Judah clave to their king from Jordan even to Jerusalem.
Right. So the Judites kept loyal to David, but all the other tribes went back to the household and became loyal to this Benjamite, Sheba. Read on.
And David came to his house at Jerusalem, and the king took the 10 women, his concubines, whom he had left to keep the house, and put them inward, and fed them, but went not in unto them. So they were shut up unto the day of their death, living in widowhood.
Right. So you recall the situation with his 10 concubines. So these concubines were David's concubines, his wives. But when David was fleeing from Absalom, he left these concubines back to take care of his house. But he left his preferred wives. Understand? But these 10 concubines whom he left behind to take care of the house, his own son Absalom slept with them on top of the house top in the view of all of Israel. which was of the Most High, because the Most High said, you slept with Uriah's wife, Bathsheba, in secret, but I'm going to have you, your wives, be slept with by someone of your old, in your old household, in view of all Israel in public. And that's exactly what happened. That's what happened when Absalom, when the Most High moves on the spirit of Absalom to sleep with his own father's concubines, in the view of all Israel. That was to make it known that, you are in adversity to your own father. So people can decide who they're going to follow, you or your father. That's what happened. Well, so David now, when we went back to Jerusalem after the death of Absalom, you know what? It didn't put him to death or anything. No. Look what he did. He slept with somebody's. This was a punishment from the Most High. So he was in no position to be so hostile or so adverse to these women. He knew this was a punishment from the Most High, but at the same time said, I'm not going to touch you again. So he just basically put them away. He still took care of them, but he never slept with them again until their death. That's what happened right here. Read on.
Verse 4. Then said King to Amasa, assemble me the men of Judah within 3 days, and be thou here present.
Mm-hmm.
So Amasa went to assemble the men of Judah, but he tarried no longer than he set time which he had appointed him.
Mm-hmm.
And David said to Abishai, now shall she...
Who's Abishai? That's Joab's brother. Right. You know, Joab was the armor bearer for David, and David was at some really tense time with Joab, because Joab was very manipulative, very very commanding, and so even though supposedly he's loyal to David, at the same time he's kind of trying to direct things according to how we thought things should proceed. Right, read on.
Verse 6. And David said to Abishai, now shall Sheba the son of Bichri do us more harm than did Absalom.
Right, so David, so when David gave an order to Amasa to get the men of Judah ready, he kind of lingered, it took too long. That kind of got David nervous and said, why are you taking so long to assemble the men of Judah together? So David kind of got nervous about that. So David said to Abishai, Joab's brother, his armor bearer, now shall Sheba, the son of Bichri, do us more harm than did Absalom. So he was afraid that Sheba, this Benjamite, was going to assemble the men of the other 10 tribes to come up against David before David was able to assemble Judah, to be able to defend themselves. Read on.
Take thou thy Lord's servants and pursue after him, lest he get him fenced cities and escape us.
Right. So David said, you know what, Abishai, take thou the Lord's take you and your servants pursue after Sheba, lest he get in fenced cities and escape us, before this guy escape and start assembling people together to come up against me. Read on.
And there went out after him Joab's men, and their Cherethites and Pelethites, and all the mighty men. And they went out of Jerusalem and pursued after Sheba, the son of Bichri.
Right, so all the men, Joab's men, and all the mighty men of Israel, under Abishai's command now, were pursuing after Sheba. Read on.
Verse 8. When they were at the great stone, which is in Gibeon, Amasa went before them.
Read it again.
When they were at the great stone, which was in Gibeon, Amasa went before them, and Joab's garment that he had put on was girded unto him, and upon it a girdle with a sword fastened upon his loins in the sheath thereof. As he had went forth, it fell out.
Right, and they were at the great. When they were at the great stone, which is in Gibeon, Amasa went before them, and Joab's garment that he had put on was girded up unto him, and unto it a girdle with a sword fastened upon his loins in the sheath thereof. And as it went forth, it fell. So the sword fell from the sheath that Amasa was wearing. Read on.
Verse 9. And Joab said to Amasa, Art thou in health, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with the right hand to kiss him.
Right, so, wow. So when Joab saw that, he was concerned about, supposedly concerned about Amasa. He said, "Are you in health, my brother?" And he took Amasa by the beard with the right hand to kiss him. Read on.
Verse 10. But Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand, and he smote him therewith in the fifth rib, and shut out his bowels to the ground, and struck him not again, and he died. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, pursued after Sheba, the son of Bichri.
This guy was cold. Joab was cold. This guy was cold. This guy Amasa must have been very close to Joab because he was wearing Joab's garment. But his sword fell out from him. So Joab was saying that this guy's a weak link. I can't even ride with us, man. You know what I mean? And he probably won't want to go back, so we gotta get rid of this guy. So he just put him close. You alright? You alright, bro? And the stabbed him right on his fifth rib. This guy was like a professional, an assassin, He's a warrior, so you know exactly where to strike you. He just struck him right there one time under the fifth rib, and that was it. His inward parts started falling all over the place.
He pretty much the same thing he did to Abner.
Right. The same thing he did to Abner, yeah. Right. So he was very sneaky. Yeah. You have to be careful. You have to be careful what you do to this guy, Joab. Read on.
Verse 11. And one of Joab's men stood by him and said, He that favoreth Joab, and he that is for David, let him go after Joab. And Amasa wallowed.
Read 11 again.
Verse 11. And one of Joab's men stood by him and said, He that favoreth Joab, and he that is for David, let him go after Joab.
Right, hold on. And one of Joab's men stood by him and said, He that favoreth Joab, and he that is for David, let him go after Joab. So look at this, making a division right there. One of Joab's men stood by him and said, He that favoreth Joab, and he that is for David, let him go after. Okay, so we're saying, if you favor Joab and you for David, keep following. You may not approve of what Joab just did, but keep following Joab. Read on.
Verse 12. And Amasa wallowed in blood in the midst of the highway. And when the man saw that all the people stood still, he removed Amasa out of the highway into the field and cast a cloth upon him. When he saw that every one that came by him stood still.
Right. So Amasa wallowed in blood in the midst of the highway, and when that same man, saw that all the people stood still, he removed Amasa out of the highway into the field and cast a cloth upon him. When he saw that everyone that came by him stood still. So the men were very disturbed by what they saw. They knew that was wrong for Joab to kill that man without a cause. I said, well, they didn't feel comfortable following up with Joab after what they just saw. So this man was trying to make amends. So he took, although if the men had followed up after Joab, they would have just left Amasa right there. But they just stood still and said, I can't believe what we just saw. So they took Amasa out of the way and brought him into a field and cast a cloth upon him. Read on.
Verse 13. When he was removed out of the highway, all the people went on after Joab to pursue after Sheba, the son of Bichri. Mm-hmm. And he went throughout all the tribes of Israel unto Abel, and to Beth Machah, and all the barracks, and they were gathered together, and went also after him, and came and besieged him in Abel of Beth Makkah. And they cast up a bank against the city, and it stood in the trench. And all the people that were with Joab battered the wall to throw it down. Then cried a wise woman out of the city, Hear, hear, I say, I pray you, unto Joab, come near hither, that I may speak with thee. Verse 17. And when he was come near unto her, the woman said, Art thou Joab? And he answered, I am he. Then she said unto him, Hear the words of thine handmaid. And he answered, I do hear. Then he spake, saying,
No, read it again.
Verse 18. Then she spake, saying, They were wont to speak in old times, saying, They shall surely ask counsel to Abel. And so they ended the matter. I am one of them that are peaceable, and faithful in Israel. Thou seest to destroy a city, and with mother in Israel, and a mother in Israel. Why wilt thou swallow up thy inheritance of the Lord?
Right. So this woman was a wise woman. She perceived Joab's intention. That it was up to no good. That Joab was basically, besieging the city where he thought that Sheba was hiding. So the woman, said to him, "Come down." She summoned she summoned Joab to her. Are you Joab? She said, yeah. He answered, yeah. I mean, why you come to destroy a city? Why you come to destroy the city? Verse 8, she said, and she spake unto the same, and she spake again, saying, they were wont to speak in old time. Back in the days, they used to say, they shall surely ask counsel at Abel. And so they ended the matter. I am one of them that are peaceable and faithful in Israel. She's saying, I'm a loyal person. I'm a loyal Israelite. Thou seekest to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. Why wilt thou swallow up the inheritance of the Most High? Why will you destroy the inheritance of the Most High? Why are you trying to destroy a city of Israel in pursuit of this man? Read on. Verse 20.
Verse 20. And Joab answered and said, fear be it, far be it from me, that I should swallow up or destroy.
Well, I'm ready to destroy anything. Read on.
The matter is not so, but a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri, by name, have lifted up his hand against the king, even against David, delivering him only. And I will depart from the city. And the woman said unto Joab, behold, his head shall be thrown to thee over the wall.
Right, so Joab said, I'm not trying to destroy the city. There's a man right there, who lifted his voice against the king, even David. He's the only one I'm here to seek. Deliver that man to me, and we got no issue. And the woman said, don't worry about it. I'm going to throw his head over the wall to you. Read on.
Verse 22. The woman went unto all the people in her wisdom, and they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bichri.
Read the verse precept again. Verse 22. Yeah.
Verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
Then the woman went unto all the people in her wisdom.
Yeah. Then the woman, this verse right here is deep. Then the woman went unto all the people in her wisdom. She went unto all the people. Go back to verse 18. To understand verse 20.
2 Samuel chapter 18, chapter 20 and verse 18. Mm-hmm. Then she spake, saying, they were wont to speak in old times.
Right. They were wont to speak in old time. You know what? Back in the days, usually They usually, this is an old saying. They were wont to speak. This is like an old English speaking. They were wont to speak. They usually say things like this back in the old days. This is how they usually speak. What do they usually say?
Saying, they shall surely ask counsel at Abel.
They shall surely ask counsel at Abel. Which Abel? That Cain and Abel? They shall surely ask counsel at Abel. I guess she's saying, they should ask counsel, about what's the right thing to do, what the right course of action to take to avenge or not to avenge a certain situation. That's what I'm getting from this. What Abel is referring to? They shall surely ask counsel. Meaning what? They didn't just arbitrarily make a decision before they take an important course of action. They will seek counsel. Like the scripture said what? In the multitude of counsel there was safety. So she was saying that, back in the days, they were wont. So they were inclined, they usually do this. This is how they usually do things. You don't just do things arbitrarily like that, off the top of your head. Yeah, that's why, go back to verse 22.
Verse 22. Mm-hmm. Then the woman went unto all the people in her wisdom.
Right.
And they...
Wait a minute, what is she doing right here? She's getting counsel. Right, she's doing what? She said, this is what's going on. This is a situation at hand. Joab, the armor bearer of the king of Israel, David, is saying that this man raised up his hand against David, cursing David, threatening David. So what should we do about this? She didn't say, she didn't take it upon herself arbitrarily and say, this is what we're going to do. She went to the elders and the wise men and men of repute in Israel and asked their advice as to what course of action she should take concerning the matter between between Sheba, the Benjamite, and Joab. Read.
And they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bichri.
Right. So the man decided, this guy here is out of order. He was wrong for threatening David, even though he's a Benjamite. But he was wrong for threatening David, and he had to. And we're not gonna provide a refuge for this guy for threatening the king. So what they do? They cut off his head. Read on.
And they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bichri, and cast it out to Joab. And he blew a trumpet, and they retired from the city, every man to his tent. And Joab returned to Jerusalem unto the king.
Right, so they beheaded Sheba. And so Joab and his men retreated from the city and went back to Jerusalem unto David. Read on.
Verse 23. Now Joab was over all the host of Israel, and Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was over the Chetherites and over the Bethlites, and Adoram was over the tribute, and Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, was recorder.
Right, recorder.
And Sheba was scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar were the priests, and Arar, also the Jerite, was a chief ruler about David.
Right. So these are different men with different responsibilities within the administration of David. Right. Chapter 21.
2 Samuel chapter 21. Then there was a famine in the days of David 3 years, year after year. And David inquired of the Lord, and the Lord answered, it is for Saul and for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites.
Right, so there was a famine in the land of Israel for 3 years during David's reign. And David inquired of the Most High. So Most High said, it's for Saul, it's because of what Saul did for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites. Remember the Gibeonites? I believe the Gibeonites were a neighboring nation. They were a neighboring nation to Israel, who were, where's it at? Where's Gibeon?
That's not it.
Nah, Gibeon. I think Gibeon. I think the Gibeon.
Let's give you up.
It's Gibeon. 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 That's what coming up. Gibeon. I think it's a different nation. Men were probably
Like it was another nation, a whole other nation.
Yeah, I think they were another nation. Either they were, I think they were friendly with Gibeon. Alright, we get to another time. But I don't believe they were men of Israel. There was another nation that were probably friendly with Israel, or something of that sort. Where's it at? Gibeon? Okay. Oh, Gibeon. That looks like it. You got it?
Yeah, pretty much. Remember those guys that put raggedy clothes on them?
Oh, right.
Yeah. In the
Read it here, read it.
Zondervan Bible Dictionary, Gibeon. Pertaining to a hill, a city of Benjamin, of Jerusalem. It was given to the priests at the time of the conquest. Joshua, without consulting the Most High, was deceived by the ambassadors of Gibeon into making a treaty with them.
Right, so these Gibeonites were men of another nation, right? But they knew that the Most High was raising up Israel, and they saw that the Israelites were slain all on the heathen nation round about them. So they pretended to come from a far country. They came dressed in raggedy clothes, stale food, and all that smell, and body odor. I think they had bathed in like a couple of weeks. Yeah, as if they're coming from a far country. And they told Joshua, come from a far country. Make a covenant with us.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, make a covenant with us, and we will serve you, because they knew otherwise they would have been put to death. So Joshua, being the man of honor that he was, he saw that he was deceived, but he made it. Yeah, he gave his word, so he had to keep his word. So he decided not to slay the Gibeonites. Read on. Okay, go back to chapter 21.
2 Samuel chapter 21. Then there was a famine in the days of David 3 years, year after year. And David inquired of the Most High. And the Most High answered, it is for Saul and for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites.
Right, we had made a covenant with the Gibeonites not to slay them. But Saul did not keep the covenant. Saul said, I don't care about that. You have no use to me. See that? He spared on the Edomites, the Amalekites. He spared them when the Most High gave him orders to kill them. But these guys, the Gibeonites, with the Most High through Joshua, said made a covenant with them to be a snare to Israel. But Saul went ahead and slew them anyway. Because of that, the Most High was putting a curse of famine on Israel. David knew something was wrong. Why are we having a famine? So he inquired of the Most High, and the Most High explained to him what was going on. Read on.
Verse 2. And the king called the Gibeonites and said unto them, now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel.
See that? The Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel. Read on.
But of the remnant of the Amorites.
But of the remnant of the Amorites, right? One of the Amite nations. Right, read on.
And the children of Israel had sworn unto them, And Saul sought to slay them in his zeal to the children of Israel and Judah.
Right. So, but Saul didn't care about the covenant that Joshua and the Israelites had made with the Gibeonites. So he went about to try to slay the Gibeonites. Read on.
Verse 3. Wherefore David said unto the Gibeonites, what shall I do for you? And wherewith shall I make the atonement, that ye may bless the inheritance of the Most High?
Right. See that the Most High is about covenant, man. The Most High is about covenant. When you make a covenant with the Most High, when they say your yea, make sure your yea means yea. When they say nay, make sure your nay means nay. Otherwise, don't say nothing. Even though these men were heathens, the Most High acknowledged the covenant that Israel made with them. To the point that David had to go to the Gibeonites and try to make peace with them, to have them remove this curse of the Most High out upon Israel, because Israel did not keep their end of the covenant that they made with these heathens. Read on.
Verse 4. And the Gibeonites said unto him, we will have no silver nor gold of Saul.
We don't want a silver gold of Saul. Read on.
Nor of his house. Neither for us shalt thou kill any man in Israel. And he said, what ye shall say, that will I do for you. And they
so say, we don't want nothing from Saul's house. No silver or gold. And we don't want anybody to be killed for us. Read on. So David said, what you want then?
Verse 5. And they answered the king, and the man that consumed us, and that devised against us that we should be destroyed from remaining in any of the coast of Israel. Let 7 men of his sons be delivered unto us, and we will hang them up unto the Most High in Gibeah of Saul, whom the Most High did choose. And the king said, I will give them.
So what did it say? We don't want nothing from the household of Saul. And we don't want any innocent Israelite to be put to death because of this. So what do you want then? Let the 7 men of the household, let 7 men of his sons. And they answered the king, the man that consumed us. Which one is that? And that devised against us that we should be destroyed from remaining in any of the coasts of Israel. Let 7 men of his sons be delivered unto us, and we will hang them up in the Most High in Gibeah of Saul, whom the Most High did choose. And the king said, I will give them. Read on.
Verse 7. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because of the Most High's oath that was between them, between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul.
Right, so he delivered up Saul's 7 sons of Saul, but he spared on he spared Jonathan's son, because of his love for Jonathan and the covenant that we made with the Most High, with Jonathan and in the eyes of the Most High. So read on.
But the king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Ahiah, whom she bare unto Saul, Armani and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul, whom she brought up for Adriel, the son of Barzillai, and Mahethalite. And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites. And they hanged them in the hill before the Most High. And they fell, all 7 sons together, and were put to death in the days of harvest, in the first days, in the beginning of barley harvest.
Right, so David delivered up 7 sons. Let's see what 7 sons he delivered up. Well, the king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Ahiah, whom she bare unto Saul. Okay. The two sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Ahiah, whom she bare unto Saul, Armani and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul, whom she brought up for Israel, the son of Barzillai, the Meholathite. Okay. So he killed 2 of Saul's sons, who there were actually Saul's 2 sons, and they killed 5 sons of Saul's daughter. Okay, so those are the 7 sons of Saul, who came from Saul's loins, directly or indirectly. I read on.
Verse 10. And Rizpah, the daughter of Ahiah, took sackcloth and spread it for her upon the rock, from the beginning of the harvest until water dropped upon them out of heaven, and suffered neither the birds of the air to rest on them by day, nor the beasts of the field by night. And it was told David what Rizpah, the daughter of Ahiah, the concubine of Saul, had done. And David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son from the men of Jabesh Gilead.
Jabesh Gilead again.
Jabesh Gilead, which had stolen them from the street of Beth Shan, where the Philistines had hanged them, when the Philistines had slain Saul in Gilboa. And he brought up from hence the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son, and they gathered the bones of them that were hanged.
Hanged. Oh yeah.
Verse 14. And the bones of Saul and Jonathan his son buried they in the country of Benjamin in Zillah, in the sepulchre of Kish his father. And they performed all that the king commanded. And after that, God was entreated for the land.
Right. So David did all of that. He recovered the bones of Jonathan and Saul that was stolen by the Philistines. And then he also gathered the remains of the 7 sons. And then the Most High said, okay, that's acceptable to me. Then the Most High, I guess the Most High brought out the latter and the former rain again, so the place started flourishing and the crops start growing again. Read on. Yeah, something you can.
Yeah, the real, but what I mean is that the Most High didn't deal with Saul. He didn't punish us when Saul was in power, but he got us when Saul was there. Meaning that whatever a leader does, the people will end up paying for it.
Right.
One way or another.
Right. That's why it's important to when the leader is going off, also it's important for the people to check the leader. You know what I mean? Maybe whatever channel through men who have the respect of the leader. You may be a so-called commoner. You may not maybe not someone of a stature where you can directly challenge a king or someone and stop, but at least you should know someone who has a respect of the people in authority, that you can go to them and you know what I mean, let them know. And let them know what the king is going on. So yeah, so you go see that your action as a consequence of reverberating or or affecting the livelihood of other people besides yourself. It affects on the whole kingdom, the whole nation, not just you, not just your household, but the whole nation. And if David wasn't wise enough to inquire the Most High, that punishment and the famine will keep going on without Israel being aware of what's going on here. But which means you also have to be in tune as to as to what's going on in a household and in your nation, and see if there's some kind of deviation from the norm. Because David knew, hey, we're supposed to be blessed. So why are we going through 3 years of famine? Something got to be wrong. Just like with Joshua, just like when Joshua, they're going to war. And every time they went to war, they were victorious. But this one time, they went to war, and they got slain by the enemies. So, what's going on here? What's going on with the people of the Most High? The Most High got our back. What happened? Somebody did something. So Joshua did an inquiry, and they found that this Judah brother took the spoils and from the enemies that they were forbidden to take. So there's always some bad apple or some loose cannon somewhere. Right? So you have to be mindful of any kind of a deviation from the norm. Somebody's going off somewhere, and the action of that one person can affect the whole camp or the whole nation. And so you have to be mindful and be what? Our brothers and sisters keeper. God, read on.
Verse 15. Moreover, the Philistines had yet war again with Israel. And David went down, and his servants with him, and fought against the Philistines. And David waxed faint. And Ishba ben Nob, which was of the son of the giants, the weight of whose spear weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, he being girded with a new sword, throughout to have slain thought to have slain David.
So this guy was what? Like a rebirth of Goliath. Didn't you hear what David did to Goliath? So this guy would say that, okay, you say kill Goliath, so I'm coming to kill you, David. I read on.
But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, secured him and smote the Philistine and killed him. Then the men of David swear unto him, saying, Thou shalt go no more out with us to battle, but thou quench not thou quench not the light of Israel.
Right. So David was not. He's not as young as he used to be. He's been a mighty warrior from a young age, but he's getting older. He's up in age now. So the man said, David, yeah. David went to war, it was faint. Normally David was, this guy was fit as a fiddle, so to speak. You know what I mean? As always, strong and valiant throughout the duration of the battle. But for some reason he was faint, fatigued, and all that. So, man, we can't allow this. Because this guy was coming to kill David. If this guy didn't intervene, David would have been put to death. So the man said, David, you gotta chill, brother. You gotta chill. You gotta sit back in the palace, man. We got this. We can't go to battle with us anymore. We know you got you got our back and all that. We know you have the good intentions, but you're not the young man that you used to be. So you gotta stay back in the palace, and we take care of this. Read on.
Verse 18, and it came to pass after this that there was again a battle with the Philistines at Gob. Then Bekah the Hushathite slew Saph, which was of the son of the giant. And there was again a battle in Gob with the Philistines. And Elhanan, the son of Jarar, Orchim, the Bethlehemite, slew the brother of Goliath, the Gittite.
These Philistines are there were a lot of giants amongst the damn Philistines, man. These uncircumcised Philistines. Yeah, read on.
The staff of whose spear was like a weaver's beam.
Right, so it's Goliath. They're from from a giant family. Read on.
Verse 20. And there was yet a battle in Gath, where was a man of great stature that had every hand six.
A great stature. Read on.
That had on every hand 6 fingers.
So this guy that an extra finger in every hand. Both hands. Read on.
And on every foot 6 toes.
Wow.
4.
So this guy got 6 fingers and 6 toes on their foot. Read on.
24 in number. And he also was born to the giant. And when he defied Israel, Jonathan, the son of Sheba, the brother of David, slew him. These 4 were born to the giant in Gath, and fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. Continue. 2 Samuel chapter 22. And David spake unto the Most High the words of this song in the day that the Most High had delivered him out of the hand of all his enemies and out of the hand of Saul. And he said, the Most High is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. The God of my rock, in him will I trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge, and my Savior, and saveth me from violence. I will call upon the Most High, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from my enemies. When the weaves of death compassed me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid.
When the waves of death.
Verse 5. When the waves of death compassed me, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me. In my distress I called upon the Most High and cried to my God. And he did hear my voice out of his temple.
My power. Cried into my power.
Verse 7. In my distress I called upon the Most High and cried to my power. And he did hear my voice out of his temple. And my cry did enter into his ears.
Right, so David is saying almost what? The Most High is his foundation, his strength, his deliverer. Whenever he's in any kind of trouble, he cries to the Most High. The Most High is a rock, his foundation. Understand? When any kind of distress he's in, he's called upon the Most High, and the Most High always hears him and delivers him out of any kind of tribulation that he's in. Read on.
Verse 8. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations of heaven moved and shook because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it.
Verse 9. And there went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. So this is speaking metaphorically, of course. You know what I'm saying? This is saying that the Most High was so wroth. You know, you ever watch these cartoons when someone is mad? When a depiction of someone is mad, you see all the fumes going up their nostrils and nose. You know what I'm saying? To the point that that is hot hair. Fumes, you know what I'm saying? Was so hot you could start a fire to sort of barbecue. That's just speaking metaphorically as to how upset the Most High was. Read on.
Verse 10. He bowed the heavens also, and came down, and darkness under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub, and did fly, and was seen upon the wings of the wind. And he made darkness pavilions round about him, dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Through the brightness before him were coals of fire kindled. Verse 14. The Most High thundered from heaven, and the Most High uttered his voice. And he sent out arrows and scattered them, lightning, and discomforted them. Verse 16. And the channels of the sea appeared, and the foundations of the world were discovered at the rebuking of the Most High, at the blast of the breath of his nostrils. He sent from above and took me. He drew me out of many waters. Verse 18. He delivered me from my strong enemy, and from them that hated me, for they were too strong for me. They prevented me in the day of my calamity. But the Most High was my stay. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me, because he delighted in me. The Most High rewarded me in according to my righteousness. According to the cleanness of my hands hath he recompensed me. For I have kept the ways of the Most High, and have not wickedly departed from my power.
Right. So all this David is saying, reflecting on the Most High delivered him out of all those predicaments, hardships, confrontation situation that he was in. Why? For I have kept the ways of the Most High, and have not wickedly departed from my power. And have not wickedly departed from my power. It's careful what it says though. He said, the Most High delivered him from all those predicaments, for I have kept the ways of the Most High. What are the ways of the Most High? The commandments of the Most High are the ways of the Most High. And he said what? And have not wickedly departed from the Most High. He didn't say, and have not departed from the Most High. He said he had not wickedly done it. Meaning what? He did not wickedly do it. In this, it's implied that there were instances, which we all know, where he departed from the Most High. But his intentions were not wicked. And if he acknowledged that, he realized that what he did was wicked, he repented for it. So there will be occasions where we depart from the ways of the Most High. But we have to be mindful of the commandments of the Most High and acknowledge that we have departed from the Most High. Not wickedly, but what? Because times of temptation where we're not strong enough, we succumb to those temptations. We have to acknowledge that, repent from it, so we can stay under the umbrella of the Most High. Because David is reflecting that that's how we got delivered from all those situations that he was in. Because he did not wickedly, meaning intentionally, seek to defy or disobey the Most High. Read on.
Verse 23. For all his judgments were before me.
See that for all his judgments were before me. Meaning what? He's aware. Just like with the famine. Even though that was Saul's doing, that was Saul's fault, but he's aware that there are consequences to your disobedience. All his judgments are before. What are judgments? Get Psalms 147, 19 now. 19 and 20.
Psalms 147.
Yeah, verse 19 and 20. Yeah.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Right, we know the words, right? Command, yeah. Scriptures, the precepts. His statutes. What are statutes? Commandments. Read.
Verse 20. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments.
And as for his what?
And as for his judgments.
And as for his judgments, read on.
They have not known them. Praise the Most High.
And as for his judgment, what are the judgments? The judgments are the punishment for breaking the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. So right here in 2 Samuel, when David says, his judgments are ever before me, David is saying what? I understand why certain things are happening. I understand that the reason why certain things are happening are they are just consequences and repercussions of certain actions. They are happening because of what course of action we're taking. And the Most High makes it plain to you why these things are happening. Read on. So you can repent and acknowledge them, your transgressions, and repent from it. And not repeat it. What?
We keep going in Psalms, or go back to 2
Go back to 2 Samuel.
Verse 23. For all his judgments were before me, and his statutes, and as for his statutes, I did not depart from them.
See that? And as for the statutes, I did not depart from them. So David was always mindful of the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Read.
Verse 24. I was also upright before him, and have kept myself from mine iniquity. Therefore, the Most High hath recompensed me according to my righteousness, according to my cleanness in his eyesight. With the merciful, thou wilt show thy merciful.
Read it again. Read it again.
Verse 26. With the merciful, thou wilt show thyself merciful. And with the upright man, thou wilt show thyself upright. With the pure, thou wilt show thyself pure. And with the froward, thou wilt show thyself unsavory.
Right, so David is saying, well, the Most High is going to deal with you according to your righteousness or your wickedness. Understand? Keep the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Just like reading what? Deuteronomy 28. About the blessing and the curses. Choose, like Moses said, choose life or death. Keep the Most High's commandments, that's life right there. And the life is not just your actual literal life. It's talking about the benefits, the happiness, the success, or death, which is what? The punishment, the hardship, the turmoil, and all that. Read on.
Verse 28. And the afflicted people thou wilt save, but thine eyes are upon the haughty, that thou mayest bring them down. For thou art my lamp, O Lord, and the Lord will lighten my darkness. For by thee I have run through a troop. By my power I have leaped over a wall. As for God,
as for the Most High.
As for the Most High.
We see that already said that it's the Most High. As for the Most High.
As for the Most High, his way is perfect. The word of the Most High is tried. He is a buckler to all them that trust in him.
Right. What's a buckler? Right. Foundation, yes, strength. You know what I mean? You don't fall apart. Yeah. He's a buckler to them that trust in him. So we got to trust in the Most High. Read on.
For who is the Most High? Save the Most High. And who is the rock? Save our power. The Most High is my strength and my power. And he maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and sitteth me upon high places, my high places.
So David is acknowledging that all the success he was having was because he trusted in the Most High. And the Most High was his foundation, his strength. He's not saying, well, I was able to accomplish all this because of my own ability. See what? The Most High gave me the strength because what? Of my obedience to his laws, statutes, and commandments. And because I trusted in him. And acknowledge that he is the only power there is. Read on.
Verse 34. Verse 35. He cheateth my hands to war, so that a bowels of steel is broken by mine arms.
Right. So what? He teacheth my hands to war. What does it say in Exodus 15:3? The Most High is a man of war. What do you say also about David? See, David is a man of his own heart. David is a man of his own heart. He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by mine arms. What is most I said in the book of Daniel? Israel is what? My battle axe and weapons of war. With thee. Exactly. Is Jeremiah?
51 verse 19.
Okay. All right. Jeremiah. Read on.
Verse 36. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy gentleness hath made me great. Thou hast enlarged my steps under me, so that my feet did not slip. I have pursued my enemies and destroyed them, and turn not again until I have consumed them. I have consumed them, and I have consumed them, and wounded them, that they could not arise. Yea, they are fallen under my feet. For thou hast girded me with strength to battle. Them that rose up against me hast thou subdued under me. Thou hast also given me the necks of my enemies, that I may destroy them that hate me. They looked, but there was none to save, even the Most High, even unto the Most High. But the answer, Salah, verse 42, they looked, but there was none to save, even unto the Most High. But he answered them not. Then did I beat them as small as the dust of the earth. I did stamp them as the mire of the street, and did spread them abroad. Thou hast delivered me from the striving of my people. Thou hast kept me to be head of the heathen. A people which I knew not shall serve me. Strangers shall submit themselves unto me. As soon as they hear, they shall be obedient unto me. Strangers shall fade away, and they shall be afraid of their closed places.
Right. So David is saying, well, because of his obedience to the Most High, all these blessings came upon him. Strangers shall serve him. A people whom he knew not shall be obedient to him. The moment they hear his name, they start trembling and start showing reverence to him. Read on.
Verse 47. The Most High liveth, and blessed be my rock, and exalted be the power of the rock of my salvation. It is the Most High that avengeth me, and that bringeth me down the people under.
Read again.
It is the Most High that avengeth me, and that bringeth down the people under me.
Right. So whatever success you're having against an enemy, it's a Most High who's a strength, who's actually defeating an enemy in front of you. Read on.
And that bringeth me forth from my enemies. Thou hast also lifted me up on high above them that rose up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man. Therefore I will give thanks unto the Most High, unto thee, O Most High, among the heathen, and I will sing praise unto thy name. He is thy tower of salvation for his king. He showeth mercy to his anointed, unto David, and to his seed forevermore.
Read on. Chapter 23.
2 Samuel chapter 23. Now these be the last words of David. David, the son of Jesse, said, and the man who was raised up on high, the anointed of the Most High, of Jacob, and the sweet psalmist of Israel, said, the Spirit of the Most High spake by me, and his word was in my tongue. The Most High of Israel, the power of Israel said, the rock of Israel spake to me. He that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of the Most High.
Right. So he that ruleth over men must be just, ruleth in the fear of the Most High. You know what? You can't be partial. You can't be. You can't show favoritism. Get James. No respect of persons. Yeah, James 2, James chapter 2.
This is the book of James, chapter 2 and verse 1. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord, Mashiach Yahushua, the glory of the Lord of glory, with respect of persons.
Right. Way back when I was a young in Jamaica, his brother, I guess it must have been a scripture he read. He was trying to teach me something. He said, you know that the Most High said you shouldn't respect anybody? I said, what does that mean? I mean, what do you mean you can't respect anybody? He said, some people when they read the scripture, just don't understand what they're reading, man. But now when I became a grown man, I said, okay, this is what it really means. But I didn't quite understand what he was reading. I wouldn't even talk about it, which didn't make any sense to me. What's he saying? My brethren, have not the faith of our other one, the Mashiach Yahushua, the power of glory, with respect of persons. What does that mean? With respect to persons. It doesn't mean you shouldn't respect anybody. It says with respect to person. It means what? You shouldn't have show preference to one person over another person because of what? The status of because of their sovereignty, because of but because of whatever esteem, because of the position, because of the power or the position in life that they have, because of their so-called importance. Everyone is entitled to the same administrative righteousness. Understand? Everyone, the law applies to everyone equally. It's up to the Most High to decide who he will show mercy to, because the Most High can show mercy to one person and not to another person. The Most High can do that because the Most High knows the situation. But you as a person, we can't do that and showing a preferential treatment to one brother. David was king, right? When he committed adultery. He should have been put to death. The Most High did show him mercy, but he didn't go altogether unpunished. And the Most High, the judgment the Most High brought upon David was harsh. He rose up his own son against him. His own son slept with 10 of his concubines at the top of the house in front of all Israel. That was harsh. Read James again, chapter 2.
This is the book of James, chapter 2 and verse 1. My brethren, have not the faith of our Lord, Mashiach Yahushua, the Lord of glory, with respect of persons.
Right, it can't be biased, man. It can't show preferential treatment to any one person. Read on. Verse 2.
Verse 2. For if there come unto your assembly a man with a gold ring.
A man with a gold ring, that was a rich man, an important man, a man of power, a man of status. Read on.
In goodly apparel.
Yeah, dressed up in a king's apparel, royal garment and so on.
And there come in also a poor man in vile raiment.
Right, no, it's the opposite now. A poor man in raggedy clothes. Read.
And ye have respect to him that weareth the gay clothing, and say unto him, sit thou here in a good place.
Right, you said, because this man was in royal apparel, dressed in gold and diamonds and all that, man of status, supposedly, man of importance, he said, okay, sit in that big chair over there. Read on.
And say to the poor, stand thou there, or sit here under my footstool.
Right. And to the poor man, he said, go sit over there in the broken chair. Read on.
Verse 4, are ye not then partial in yourselves, and are become judges of evil thoughts?
Right. Are you not then partial in yourselves, and are become judges of evil thoughts? Yeah, you're being partial. You're showing preferential treatment to the man, the rich man, in the royal apparel, and was resting judgment against the man of a lower status. The man raggedy clothes because he was a poor man. Read.
Verse 5, hearken my brethren, hearken my beloved brethren, have not God chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom, which he hath promised to them that love him? Right.
So the Most High chosen the people. They may be poor in wealth, but if they're rich in righteousness, the Most High chosen them. All right, go back to Samuel. Let's finish up Samuel. So we got 3 more chapters. Read.
Verse 3. The Most High of Israel said, the power of Israel said, the rock of Israel spake to me, he that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of the Most High. Mm-hmm. And he shall be as the light of the morning, when the sun riseth, even a morning without clouds, as the tender grass springing out of the earth by clear shining after rain. Verse 5, although my house be not so with God.
With the Most High.
Verse 5.
Read it again now. Yeah.
Although my house be not so with the Most High, yet hath made with me an everlasting covenant, ordered in all things, and sure, for this is all my salvation, and all my desire, although he make it not to grow. But the sons of Belial,
you said it right the first time.
Belial shall be all of them as thorns thrust away, because they cannot be taken with hands. But the man that shall touch them must be fenced with iron, and the staff of a spear, and they shall be utterly burned with fire in the same place. These be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The
Right now, so they're gonna name some of the mighty men that was with David. Read on.
The Gibeonites that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. The same was Abno, the Eznite. Adino, the Eznite. He lifted up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time.
This mighty man, these be the names of the mighty men whom David had. These men were not ordinary men. The Gibeonite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. The same was Adino the Eznite. He lifted up his spear against 800 men, whom he slew at one time. He slew 800 men at one time. 800 men at one time. So this, can you imagine how strong that guy was, man?
Yep, that was Samson.
Huh?
Yep, that was Samson. Then he did 1,000 with a jawbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Samson.
800 men just running through them like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was possessed. That's the spirit of the Most High on these men. Damn, read on.
Verse 9. And after him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo the Ahite, one of the 3 mighty men with David, when they defied the Philistines that were gathered together to battle. The men of Israel were gone away. He arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand clave unto the sword. And the Most High wrought a great victory that day.
All that. He arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary. Not just because his hand was weary, and his hand clave unto the sword. What does that mean? His hand became one with the sword. His hand became so fastened to the sword. Probably because of the blood became like glue. Gluing his sword to his hand. His hand became like his hand became clave to the sword, man. It became like one. Like this mic. I can't let go of this microphone. Mine is cleaving to the microphone. I'm speaking for hours. When speaking for hours, man, can't leave this microphone.
Right.
Wow, that's how it was. Read on.
And the Most High wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil. And after him was Shammah, the son of Agi, the Hararite. And the Philistines were gathered together into a troop, where was a piece of ground full of lentils. And the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines. And the Most High wrought a great victory. And 3 of the 30 chief went down and came to David in the harvest time unto the cave of Adullam. And the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And David was then in a hold. And the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." And the 3 mighty men brought through the host
Read it again now.
Verse 16. And the 3 mighty men brake through the host of the Philistines, and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate. And it took and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto the Most High.
Wow. So David is so thirsty. He said, man, I've been fighting all day. I need something to drink. And these men are so loyal to David. They risked their own lives. And they broke through the ranks of the Philistines to get the water of Bethlehem and brought it to David. But David said, these men risked their lives to get me the water to drink. Wow. So loyal. I'm going to drink this water. What about them? They're thirsty too. I can't drink this water. So David just poured the water on the earth. Read on.
Verse 17. And he said, "Be it far from me, O Most High, that I should do this. It is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives. Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mighty men. And Abishai, the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief among 3. And
see that? So these men were loyal to David. So that's why even though they may do certain things which were kind of off, David it wasn't too rough with them because these men risked their lives with David. But only things that occasionally they had different, you could say, different political views, different views as to how certain course of action should be taken. But this Abishai, this brother of Joab, you know what I'm saying? He was one of the 3 men that risked their lives to get the water for David. Read on.
And he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them, and had the name among 3.
Right, damn. So he slew 300 men with a spear. So he wasn't an ordinary guy either. All right, read on.
Verse 19. Was he not most honorable of 3? Therefore he was their captain. Howbeit he attained not unto the first 3. And Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man, Kabzeel, who had done many acts. He slew 2 lion-like men of Moab.
He slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. I wonder what does that mean. These men must have been ferocious men. Why? I mean, because we admire the men, but the other nation admire the men too. But what? Because just like David was saying earlier, when the spirit of the Most High is upon you, you cannot defeat anybody, man. That's what happened here. Read on. He slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. Read on.
He went down also and slew a lion in the midst of a pit in time of snow.
What? Hold on. He slew 2 lion-like men, and he also slew a lion. And slew a lion in the midst of a pit in time of snow, in the cold. And when a pit is like a you know, a hollow ground. It's not much. You're gonna go. You have no way to. You have no escape. You know what I'm saying? You're confined right there to the boundaries of that pit. You can't run. And he was right there with the lion and slew the lion. Read on.
Verse 21. And he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man. And the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with a staff and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand and slew him with his own spear. These things did Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, and had the name among the 3 mighty men. He was more honorable than the 30, but he attained not to the first 3. But David set him over his guard. Asahel, the brother of Joab, was one of the 30.
So this Joab family was men of war. That's why David was so concerned about them. Read on.
Elhanan, the son of Dodo of Bethlehem. Shema, the Harodite. Elikah, the Harodite. Helez, the Pelite. Arah, the son of Ikish, the Tekite. Abizir, the Enothite. Mebunnui, the Hushathite. Zalmon, the Ohoathite. Maharai, the Netophathite. Haleb, the Bahnan, a Nephanite. Attiah, the son of Rabiah, out of Gibeah, of the children of Benjamin. Verse 30. Benaiah, the Parathite. Hadiah of the brooks of Gash. Abi Alam, the Abrothite. Azmavat, the Baruthite. Alibia, the Sha'alabanite, of the sons of Gaish, Jonathan. Verse 33. Shema, the Harathite. Haam, the son of Sha'arar, the Harathite. Eliphelet, the son of Abishai, the son of Makahathite. Eliam, the son of Ahithophel, the Gibeonites. Hezariah, the Carmelite. Pariah, the Arbatite. Agal, the son of Nathan of Zeboah. Benai, the Gadite. Zelek, the Ammonite. Nahara, the Bethlehemite, armor bearer to Joab, the son of Zeruiah. Ira, the Itharite. Gareb, the Itharite. Yorah, the Hittite. 37 in all.
Right. Those are the mighty men of David. Okay, wrap it up in chapter 24 right now.
2 Samuel chapter 24. And again, the anger of the Most High was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, Go number Israel and Judah. For the king said to Joab, the captain of the host, which was with him, go now throughout all the tribes of Israel, from Dan even to Beersheba, and number ye the people, that I may know the number of their people. And Joab said,
So what was David doing? He was taking what? A census. Taking a census of Israel. Right now there's also 2020 census going around. Should Israel take a census? Should Israel taking a census? That's one of the questions you're asking. The Most High was wrong with David for taking the census of his number of the people of Israel. Okay, on occasion we numbered the men from age 20 upward. The men were battle ready, men for the army. But this was not as a reader we'll see if this was the case. Read on.
Verse 3. And Joab said unto the king, now the Most High thy power added unto the people, how many soever thy be, 100-fold, and that the eyes of my Adawan the king may see it. But why doeth my Adawan the king delight in this thing?
Right. So even Joab was asking, why do you want to do this? The Most High always gives an increase. And Joab said unto the king, no, the Most High thy power add unto the people. The Most High increases the population of Israel. How many soever they be. I don't know, 100-fold. So the population of Israel is always increasing. And that the eyes of my Lord the king may see it. And you can see it for yourself, king. All the nation is growing. But why do you want to have knowledge of the exact number of people? But why does my Lord the king delight in this thing? Read on.
Verse 4. Notwithstanding, the king's word prevailed against Joab, and against the captains of the host. And Joab and the captains of the host went out from the presence of the king to number the people of Israel. And they passed over Jordan and pitched in Aurora, on the right side of the city that lieth in the midst of the river of Gad, and toward Gazer. Then they came to Gilead, and to the land of Tathim Hadashah. And they came to Dan Jaan, and about to Zidon, and came to the stronghold of Tyre, and to all the cities of the Hivites and of the Canaanites. And they went out to the south of Judah, even to Beersheba. So when they had gone through all the land, they came to Jerusalem at the end of 9 months and 20 days.
So that's what it took, basically 10 months. 9 months and 20 days. That's how long it took them to number the population of Israel throughout all the 12 tribes on both sides of River Jordan. Read the east and the west of Jordan. Read on.
Verse 9. And Joab gave up the sum of the number of the people unto the king. And there were in Israel 800,000 valiant men that drew the sword. And the men of Judah were 500,000 men. And David's heart smote.
Right. 800,000 valiant men that drew the sword. 800,000 men. And the men of Judah were 500,000. Of the 800,000, 500,000 were of Judah. You see that? So that's more than half. Almost 2/3, or maybe 3/5, something like that. Read on.
Verse 10. And David's heart smote after him that he had numbered the people. And David said unto the Most High, I have sinned greatly in that I have done. And now I beseech thee, O Most High, take away the iniquity of thy servant, for I have done very foolishly. For when David was up in the morning, the word of the Most High came unto the prophet Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and say unto David, Thus saith the Most High, I offer thee 3 things. Choose thee one of them, that I may do it unto thee.
So David realized that he was wrong for insisting on taking the census of Israel. The Most High let it be known to him that like the judgment of the Most High was ever before him. Just like he said earlier in an earlier chapter. So the Most High let it be known to David that what he did was wrong. Read on.
Verse 13. So God came to David and told him and said unto him, shall 7 years of famine come unto thee?
So the Most High was giving David 3 choices. So the Most High was no this was a judgment that the Most High was bringing up on David and Israel. So the Most High was basically letting him choose your poison. You choose whatever hardship you want me to put upon you. Read 13 again.
Verse 13. So Gad came to David and told him and said unto him, shall 7 years of famine come unto thee in thy land? Or wilt thou flee 3 months before thine enemies, while they pursue thee? Or that there be 3 days of pestilence in thy land? Now advise, and see what answer I shall return to him that sent me.
So the Most High gave David 3 choices, 3 options. 3 ways to punish you, choose one. So the guy, the seer, that guy came to David and said, I told him, shall 7 years of famine come unto thee in thy land? David experienced 3 years of famine and he couldn't take that. No, the Most High is offering 7 years. Could David have experienced 7 years of famine? Could Israel stand 7 years of famine? Famine when there is nothing growing, no food, no water. Remember Egypt when Joseph was in Egypt? Or the famine got brought about like a transfer of wealth. Mm-hmm. Because the Most High told Joseph of the famine, of the impending famine. So Joseph advised Pharaoh to stock up on stock up the barn and all that. So when the people got hungry, they would buy from Pharaoh, and they spent everything they had, all their money, all the land, the cattle and all that, give to Pharaoh to get corn. So that the same thing would happen to Israel. They would have lost all their wealth. Because nothing was growing, nothing was being produced. So they would have to expend everything they had, I guess, to other nations outside of Israel in order to stay alive. So the choice was 7 years of famine. Shall 7 years of famine come upon thee in thy land? Or wilt thou flee 3 months before thine enemies while pursuing thee? 3 months is a long time when someone is in hot pursuit of you, relentlessly pursuing you to kill you with the intention of killing you. How long was David fleeing from Absalom? And David wasn't so old at the time. Or that there be 3 days pestilence in thy land. 3 days of pestilence. The pestilence of of the magnitude that was in Egypt. That's a lot of pestilence. Because those plagues or pestilences in Egypt were what caused Pharaoh to lose patience and let the Israelites go. So could David take that? Now advise and see what answer I shall return to him that sent me. That's what the prophet Gad said to David. Let me know what they want me to tell the Most High. Read on, verse 14.
Verse 14. And David said unto Gad, I am in a great strait. Let us fall now into the hand of the Most High, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of a man.
Right. See that David said, I'm in a rock and a hard place. These are tough choices. It's a tough predicament I find myself in. But David said, so what? Let me fall into the hand of the Most High, for his mercies are great. And let me not fall into the hand of man. Read on.
Verse 15. So the Most High sent a pestilence upon Israel from the morning even to the time appointed. And there died of the people from Dan even to Beersheba 70,000 men.
Wow. So the Most High decided what punishment he was going to bring upon Israel. And 70,000 men died because of it. See that? Who did it wrong? David did it wrong. He took the census against the advice of Joab, his armor bearer, the captain of the host. And because of that, 70 people died. From Dan all the way to Beersheba. 70,000 people met. Read on.
Verse 16. And when the angel stretched out his hand upon Jerusalem to destroy it, the Most High repented him of the evil and said to the angel that destroyed the people, It is enough. Stay now thy hand. The angel of the Most High was by the threshing place of Ruanah.
See that? So these angels, men, are the instruments of wrath, instruments of blessing. They just do the Most High's bidding. What does the Most High say? I create good and I create evil. I understand what the Christian church got. These angels are, as a little babies with wings and always doing something. You know what I'm saying? Always doing something pleasant, joyful, pleasing. You know what I mean? That's not the way the Most High can have an angel do it, whatever bidding the Most High wants. To save you or to kill you. The Most High creates good and he creates evil. So these angels were about to destroy Jerusalem. The Most High said, that's enough. What did the angel do? They step back. Read on, because they not do their own thing. They actually according to the commandments of the Most High. Read on.
And the angel of the Lord was by the threshing place of Araunah the Jebusite. And David spake unto the Most High when he saw the angel that smote the people, and said, Lo, I have sinned.
So David saw the angel that smote the people. Read on.
And I have done wickedly. But these sheep, what have they done? Let thine hand, I pray thee, be against me and against my father's house. And Gad came that day to David and said unto him, Go up, rear an altar unto the Most High in the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. And David, according to the saying of Gad, went up as the Most High commanded. And Araunah looked and saw the king and his servants coming on toward him. And Araunah went out and bowed himself before the king on his face upon the ground. And Araunah said, Wherefore is my Adawan the king come to his servant? And David said, To buy the threshing floor of thee, to build an altar unto the Most High, that the plague may be stayed from the people. And Araunah said unto David, Let my Adawan the king take and offer up what seemeth good unto him. Behold, here be oxen for burnt sacrifice, and threshing instruments, and other instruments of the oxen for wood. All these things did Araunah as a king give unto the king. And Araunah said unto the king, The Most High thy power accept thee. And the king said unto Araunah, Nay, but I will surely buy it of thee at a price. Neither will I offer burnt offerings unto the Most High my power of what which doest cost me nothing. So David brought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. And David built there an altar unto the Most High, and offered burnt offerings of peace offerings. So the Most High was entreated for the land, and the plague was stayed from Israel.
Right, so David disobeyed the Most High, took the census. The Most High was wrought. gave David options as to what punishment he wanted. David said, I'm going to rely upon the mercy, yeah. I'd rather fall into your hands than fall into the hands of man. So the Most High chose the punishment he wanted to mete it out to Israel, which was a plague, a pestilence, a plague over all Israel from Dan to Beersheba, which killed what, 70,000 men. And I stand about the Most High stopped right there. And the prophet Gad asked David, told David to build an altar. So David bought the land and then pitched an altar, which was made an altar to the Most High, which was pleasing to the Most High. The Most High held back the plague from Israel. So that concluded the second book of Samuel, chapter 24, by Shamash Gawashai. Most High willing, maybe summarize the whole thing. Yeah, we got questions. Are they going to call?
Questions on it now? Did you write any questions on that now?
Someone on there now.
Okay. Shalom.
I'm calling from the north.
You calling from the north?
Yes, I was born in Miami, yet I migrated in the north.
Okay. Where's the north? What north?
The reason why my family migrated to the north because back in them 60s, South wasn't doing it. I was born in Miami, and I migrated to the north.
Okay.
This is north.
Oh,
Here's that. Reason why, and the reason why my family migrated to the north.
Brother, it's like an echo or a delay. Can you turn the TV down or something? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you turn the TV down and just talk to us? Because there's like an echo going on.
Your audio is a little delayed.
Right.
So, however, as I was saying, is that I was born in Miami, but I migrated to the north, and my heart is still, in the south. nevertheless, you know, my order, my obedience is to the Most High. You know, and that's where my heart is at, with the Most High. So therefore, I don't, you know, live my life lusting for anything. No woman, no money, no nothing. My whole life is committed to the Most High, and that's why I'm free from the woman. Not saying it's a bad thing to have a woman, but I can't fight the battle. Protect her too. So the Most High makes soldiers that he just gotta be told, and I'm one of them. I watch your cat for some time now. I have great respect for your cat. I have great love for your cat, and I bless your cat, and that's why I always told him with you. You know, but nevertheless, you know, we are still in that, as we know, and Most High, he's there with us all. He's with me, he's with you, he's with us all. You know what I mean? I don't see a day that he's not with me. And I'm not talking about just in my mind, but literally, he showed me things. So, I wanted to say to you, man, I love what your brother's doing. I'm with you in the spirit. Yahweh with you. Yahweh shall with you. And Kwam Yahshua.
All right, now, Khan. Can I respond now? Yeah. Two other logging on to LOZ. But so much Kawashai. Say they were used to be down here in Miami. They move up north. Okay, right. Wherever you happen to be, because Israel is scattered through the four corners of the earth. So wherever you happen to be, whether you're in the south or north, as long as you know you're an Hebrew Israelite, you know what I'm saying? We're staying communication with each other. Keep the commandments of the Most High. I understand also there's a lot of brothers for some reason, refer to fleeing Babylon as a way of maybe thinking that it's relocating from one place to another is going to bring about some kind of an ease of the tribulation going through. While in captivity, we're always going to be going through temptation and tribulation, regardless of what location you're in. Yeah, even in the south, I know there's probably like a stigma, especially with the so-called Juneteenth of today. You know, the stigma of slavery on us. And our people, people may think, going to the north, that's gonna alleviate that, or you're gonna escape from that. But you're gonna find that, when we encounter our enemies, they are, some are more open with their racism and their bias. Some are kind of sneaky. And more covert with it, more subtle with the hostility against us. You know what I'm saying? So some may not openly show you the hostility against you, while others may do it systematically. But at the end of the day, they all feel the same way, regardless of the location, or regardless of what political party they may be affiliated with. You know what I'm saying? So we should be mindful. We should be mindful of that. That's one thing. And you also mentioned about you have dedicating yourself to the Most High, and you have separated yourself from women. But the Most High said that the woman is our helpmate. So, and the Most High will give you a woman according to your heart. A righteous man get a righteous woman, a wicked man get a, you know what I mean?
But see, brother, I'm going to get a draw, but see, at these days, man, we in the final days, so I don't even seek the woman right now because my love is the Most High. So, like I said earlier, when you are a soldier, You know, you can't be seeking your pleasures when, you know, he is your pleasure. He is your purpose. So, you know, I will worry about the woman when I get in the outside kingdom. Okay? Right now, I'm not going to be straight worried about the woman because the woman got us in this position from the very get-go. I love the woman. I love all the women. But I know it's because of their will we're in this situation right now. So I can't be worried about the woman. I got to be focused on us as men of the Most High, the soldiers. See, you cannot serve your God and then protect your woman either. Because now you are divided between your own heart. So in the last days, brother, Most High is taking out soldiers. You can't protect the woman when the Most High says put her down. So.
But keep in mind, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but keep in mind that you know, as a family, as a nation, nation consists of what? Families. Families that consist of what? The man, the woman, and children. You know.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
The children is fine. The problem is, a lot of brothers got evil wives that ain't gonna get to the kingdom. You know, you can't hide the heart with the Most High see. He can look in the eyes of all people. And a lot of you brothers laying down with a woman that can't be saved. Now, I'm not saying all of you like that, but I know.
Give me guys, give me scripture. Romans. Was it Romans 7?
Think about it.
No, that's Hebrews.
Well, 1 Corinthians 3.
Is it Corinthians?
3 and 7.
Yeah. Give me that.
You look at the Most High. They are free from the connection of the world.
We'll say, can we say one can save the other? Yeah. Yeah, read it. I got a scripture for you, brother. Read it. Hold on.
7:33. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7.
Hold on, brother. I got a scripture. Hold on a second.
I love our sisters, man, but I know the sisters gotta get that Holy body.
Yeah.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7 and verse 33. Verse 32. But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belongeth to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. He that is married careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. There is difference also between a wife and a virgin.
Okay. The one I was looking for. Hold on a second.
Verse 14?
Right, that's the one I wrote. Right, verse 14.
All right. This is the book of First.
Let me see where I'm going to start early. But,
12 to 14.
Yeah, verse 12. 1 Corinthians 7, verse 12.
Come. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 12. But to the rest speak I, not to the Lord. If any brother have a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
Right. So if a brother got a wife that believeth not, so it's going to be occasion where a brother in the truth may have a wife that's not in the truth. She may have so-called worldly tendencies. You want to go to Sabbath service, she don't want to go with you. You want to keep the Passover, she ain't done with that. You want to keep the Passover, she was talking about Easter. And in December, you're talking about Christmas. You're talking Hanukkah, she's talking Christmas. There's gonna be occasion like that because, you know what I'm saying, you're right. The most are looking for soldiers, which we are. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be occasion with the sort of women that we were involved with don't see eye to eye with you as far as pertaining to the Most High.
Elder,
but still, you can't use it as a read on it. Let's see what the scripture says further.
I don't want to say, you know, a lot of our sisters, man, they want to do right, but they got a demon on them, and a lot of them just can't do right because they have that. Remember, they were the ones that made the deal with the devil from the very get-go. It's in the gospel. So that's stuff you can never take away. You know, so you can love them and it's all good. But the Most High said, He's gonna cleanse them.
Read on.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 13. And the woman which hath an husband.
Now repeat, go back to 12. I finished 12. You didn't.
Come. 1 Corinthians 7 and 12. But to the rest speak I, not to the Lord. If any brother have a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
Right. So, if she may not know the truth the way you know the truth, and she may not come around to know the truth the way you do. But if she's a good wife, otherwise, a good mother, otherwise, she's a good helpmeet, otherwise, supportive of you, otherwise, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't put her away. You know what I'm saying? Just of course, don't let her bring you out into the world. Make sure you are the strong one. Make sure you keep the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments and all that.
I'm like Paul. I'm without a wife, so I don't worry. I don't have to deal with it.
Okay.
You know, not saying I love the woman. I love everything about her, but I just know her name. And I know what she's done that only the Most High can cleanse her. Nothing you and I can do the same. Remember, her mother Eve made that covenant.
See, understand this, brother, because when the Most High redeem us from this from Babylon, from the four corners of the earth, He's gonna redeem us as a nation. He's gonna redeem us as families, just like coming out of Egypt. When He redeemed us out of Egypt, He redeemed us as families, man, woman, and children, and tribes. Understand? And we weren't all righteous. You saw all the tribulations, all the temptation that people felt or succumbed to in the wilderness, or the wickedness that we did. Moses went up to Mount Sinai to talk to the Most High. When he came back down, what was that? The people were doing all kind of wickedness. Men and women. Understand? So you're talking about cleansing. Right now, as a nation, the Most High said we're all as filthy rags. Even though the men are the ones in the teaching, and we are the ones the Most High calling to first and foremost to gather the nation together. He's gonna gather us together as a family. Understand that? So the woman, she may be going off as far as things to pertain to the Most High, but if she is pleased to dwell with you to the extent, and that means actually pleased to dwell with you mean, hey, she should be obedient to the laws of the Most High, but it's not going to be to the level that you're at. Because we're the ones who are doing the teaching. We're the ones who go out to the camp, do the teaching, and who the people look to for guidance, for the word of the Most High. So so naturally we are going to be at a different level as far as the knowledge of the Most High.
Right. So at the end of the day, are we going to serve the Most High's will or the woman's will?
We serve the Most High's will. Being with a woman who is not on the level that you're on doesn't mean that you're serving her. Understand? That's what the scriptures. Read verse 12 again.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7.
So, according to what you're saying, there has to be certain stipulation. Stipulation has to be met before you decide if you want to hook up with this, so-called hook up with this woman. That's why you got to go through, the courting process to see what kind of spirit she's in. If she's someone who's inclined, you being a man of the Most High, who knows that under no circumstances you're gonna deviate from keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments and serving the Most High. You got to so-called vet her, which is a courting process to see the mindset of this woman before you decide, say, if this is someone you want to have a relationship with. And if you see that this is someone who's gonna bring turmoil in your household, then let it be. Okay?
Brother, obviously you're a married man, and I understand why you're speaking from your heart.
I'm not. I'm not.
Well, but still, you're speaking for the brothers that are married, and that's a beautiful thing, though. But see, I'm looking at what the Most High has given and put in my spirit for the Ghost. And the Holy Ghost tells me is that the woman is the first one that put the man in the mud. That covenant of sin. Okay? And the bottom line is, brothers, nothing you and I can do to change what the Most High will do to the woman. That's the bottom line, bro. I mean, like I said, even with the 144, it's never involved not one woman.
1 Corinthians, chapter 7 and verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye were worked unto me, it is good for a...
Read it the count voice a little bit.
1 Corinthians, chapter 7 and 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me.
Right, concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me. So this is an old issue. So these men of Corinthians, these Israelite men of Corinthians were writing unto Paul, raising issues concerning relationship from way back when, in the time of Paul. So it's not anything new. You're right. There were always issues between concerning relationship between the man and the woman, going way back from ever since. Read on.
Nevertheless,
You read from the top again.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless.
See, so based on the issues that men were having with women, on the possibilities of this woman